Now, Irish Rail says there'll be a full review after long delays to DART services at Bray yesterday left passengers stranded while others were stuck in uncomfortably hot carriages. Iarnród Éireann says DART services were suspended for a time after passengers forced doors open and disembarked onto the tracks. But many commuters say there simply wasn't enough DART services running to accommodate the crowds. Let's go now to our reporter Paul Quinn. Paul, an awful lot of very unhappy passengers after yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, Colette. Irish Rail saying that thousands of passengers were impacted by yesterday's delays. And of course, it was a very busy day. You had the Bray Air display and also the All-Ireland final. But Irish Rail saying the initial problem happened when the 13:05 service from Connolly to Bray was waiting outside of Bray. It says for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, waiting for an available platform when a number of people forced open the doors and made their way out onto the track to walk towards Bray station. But people we've been speaking to, people on social media saying it was much longer than 5 minutes. Many of them saying it felt like 15, 20, up to half an hour. They say some of them describing the conditions on the trains as inhumane, that there was no ventilation, no air conditioning, that people of all ages, particularly children, were visibly upset. They were crying. People started to panic as well. And one man telling me that it simply wasn't safe to stay on the train, that no parent wants to put their child in danger or put them out onto the tracks, but they felt that it was simply be unsafe to stay on the train, and that those that opened the emergency doors, that it simply was an emergency. Now, we've been speaking to one of those passengers who was on the Connolly Bray service. She's been telling us exactly what it was like.
People were starting to have panic attacks, and then once one person started freaking out, other people started freaking out, children started freaking out. People were stripping their children down to their nappies because they were too hot. The man next to me, his sweat was dripping onto me, like we were soaked. It was so uncomfortable. And then people started to faint. So then there was a panic because we couldn't breathe anymore.
Now, Irish Rail has today apologised. It says that 9 extra services were put on yesterday, given that it was a very busy day, but they'll be looking at whether or not that was enough. And they've also said that they'll be carrying out a full investigation.
These trains were absolutely at maximum capacity. It was a very humid, warm day yesterday. A lot of families travelling, a lot of older people travelling. We can completely understand that, it was a distressing time for these people, and we apologise to them. And as I said, we are looking into ways that we can improve the service that we can offer, both in terms of the communication of delays when they do occur, and also the ventilation on board those services when it was particularly hot and they were particularly busy.
Now, separately today, Irish Rail have also said it intends to lodge plans with An Bord Pleanála this week to extend the electrified DART network beyond west of Maynooth and onto the M3 Parkway. All going well. Planning approved. Construction should begin in 2024, and that service being rolled out in 2029.
All right, Paul, thank you for that.